There is a moment just before sunrise in the Alps when the world holds its breath. The sky shifts from deep indigo to a soft blush of rose and amber, and the first golden rays stretch across the jagged peaks like fingers of light, reaching for something sacred. In Switzerland, the mountains do not simply exist, they command. The Bernese Oberland rises with a quiet authority that makes everything else feel small and insignificant. Snow-capped summits catch the early light while the valleys below remain wrapped in a thin morning mist, untouched and perfectly still. The air here carries a crispness that fills your lungs and reminds you that you are alive. Glaciers carved these valleys over thousands of years, and standing at their edge, you can feel the weight of that ancient time pressing gently against the present moment. Moving south through the heart of the Alps, the landscape begins to soften. Austria reveals itself in layers. First, through dense pine forests that line winding mountain roads, then through open meadows bursting with wildflowers in shades of violet, yellow and white. Lake Hallstatt sits like a painting that no artist could ever truly replicate. Its emerald surface mirrors the surrounding mountains with such precision that the reflection appears more vivid than reality itself. Charming wooden houses cling to the hillside above the water, their window boxes overflowing with red geraniums, their rooftops dusted with morning dew. The sound of church bells drifts across the lake at intervals, marking time in a place where time seems to have little meaning. Every angle here is a composition, every moment a frame worth holding. Crossing into Slovenia, the scenery shifts with a quiet drama that catches you completely off guard. Lake Bled emerges from the forest like a secret the mountains have been keeping for centuries. A small island sits at its center, crowned by a white church whose bell tower rises against a backdrop of snow-dusted peaks. The water is impossibly clear, shifting between shades of turquoise and deep jade, depending on the angle of the light. Traditional wooden boats called pletnas glide silently across the surface, their oarsmen moving with a practiced rhythm that feels almost ceremonial. Above the lake, Bled Castle perches on a sheer cliff face, watching over the valley with the quiet confidence of something that has witnessed centuries pass without flinching. Northern Italy carries a different kind of beauty. Warmer, more golden, layered with history and color. The Dolomites rise from the earth in dramatic, vertical formations, their pale, limestone faces glowing orange and pink during golden hour as though lit from within. These are not gentle mountains, they are sharp and theatrical, carved by wind and ice into shapes that seem almost architectural. The valleys between them are lush and green, dotted with small villages where stone churches and timber farmhouses have stood for generations. Crystal-clear rivers rush through narrow gorges, their sound filling the air with a constant, soothing roar. Wildflower meadows stretch across hillsides above the tree line, painting the landscape in colors so vivid they seem almost unreal against the pale grey rock above. Bavaria in southern Germany offers a landscape that feels borrowed from imagination. Neuschwanstein Castle appears through the trees like something conjured from a dream, its white towers rising above the forested hillside with an elegance that seems almost impossible. Below it, the Alpsee Lake reflects the surrounding peaks in its still surface, and the forests that surround it are dense and ancient, filled with the sounds of birds and wind moving through the canopy. Rolling green valleys stretch toward the horizon, broken occasionally by the sharp silhouette of a church steeple or the curve of a winding road disappearing into the hills. The light here during late afternoon turns everything golden, casting long shadows across the meadows and giving the entire landscape a warmth that feels deeply welcoming. The French Alps bring the journey to its most dramatic conclusion. Chamonix sits at the foot of Mont Blanc, the highest peak in Western Europe, and from the valley floor the mountain fills the entire sky. Glaciers pour down from the summit in slow, frozen rivers, their blue-white surfaces catching the last light of the day with an almost electric intensity. As the sun descends behind the western ridgeline, the sky above the peaks transforms into a canvas of deep orange, crimson, and violet. The mountains hold this color for only a few minutes before the shadows rise and the stars begin to appear, one by one, above the silent peaks. In this final light, every landscape visited on this journey returns in memory. The lakes, the valleys, the waterfalls, the castles, the meadows, all of it connected by the same ancient, enduring beauty that has drawn travelers here for generations and will continue to do so long after we are gone.